Hey everyone, welcome to today's Explainer. We are diving right into some truly amazing history about the very first people who ever lived in the place we now call California. Let's get started.
Think about this for a second. Who lived in California before it was even called California? Picture the exact spot where you're sitting right now, maybe right here in the Central Valley, but thousands of years ago. Long before all the cities, the farms, and the highways we know today were ever built. Who was here?
Well, California is huge, right? We've got mountains, beaches, and giant valleys. And long before anyone from Europe ever sailed over, Native Americans called this whole massive area home. In fact, scientists tell us that Native people have been living right here for over 12,000 years. That is a seriously long time.
Okay, so a really important word we need to know today is tribe, or in Spanish, tribu. A tribe is basically a group of people who share the exact same culture, the same language, and the same homeland. The Native Americans living here weren't just wandering around. They were super smart, highly organized groups with their own complex governments, rules, and totally unique ways of living together.
Now, here's a huge myth we need to bust. A lot of people think Native Americans were all just one big single group. No way! In California alone, there were over 100 completely unique tribes. Every single one had its own borders and its own language. Like right here in our Central Valley, you had the Yokuts and the Miwok tribes. They were entirely separate nations with their own totally unique ideas and cultures, kind of like how different countries are today.
Let's look at another big word, nature, or in Spanish, naturaleza. When we say nature, we mean the physical world around us. You know, the plants, the animals, the dirt under our feet. For Native American tribes, the land wasn't just some wild, scary place. It was their home. And just like you take care of your house, they knew they had to carefully manage, respect, and protect the land.
So how did they survive without grocery stores or pharmacies? Well, they used natural resources for literally all their daily needs. They were amazing at gathering acorns and grinding them up to make delicious bread and porridge. They would use reeds and wood to build really clever boats for fishing in the rivers. And if someone got sick, they knew exactly which native plants to pick to make medicine to help them feel better.
And you know, all those beautiful forests and valleys didn't just look perfect by accident. Native Americans were basically expert managers of the environment for the whole state. They didn't just take things from the land, they took care of it. They planted seeds, pulled weeds, and even did controlled fires to clear out dead brush. They managed the environment so that animals and all those useful plants would grow back healthy and strong every single year.
But how did they teach all of this amazing knowledge to their kids? They used tradition, or in Spanish, tradición. A tradition is a belief or a custom that older people pass down to younger people. For native tribes, traditions were super important. It was how they celebrated what they believed in, how they remembered their ancestors, and how they shared their really serious, important history with the children.
Think about it. You probably have a bunch of traditions you celebrate with your own family, right? Like here in the United States, setting off fireworks on the 4th of July is a huge tradition. Or maybe at a family fiesta, a really fun Hispanic tradition is breaking open a pinata. Well, Native American tribes had their own special traditions too. They would gather their whole community together for ceremonies, singing and dancing to honor the earth in deeply serious and meaningful ways.
Listen to this incredible quote from the Maidu tribe. They said, "In the beginning there was no sun, no moon, no stars. All was dark, and everywhere there was only water." Since they didn't have written books back then, tribes used the tradition of oral storytelling. The elders, those are the older, wisest people in the tribe, were basically walking, talking libraries. They would pass down their serious history, their creation stories, and their life lessons by telling them out loud to the kids around the fire.
They even built special places just for their customs. Right here in Central California, they had a really unique custom called the sweat house. People would gather inside these amazing, earth-covered buildings around a warm fire to sweat, get clean, stay healthy, and talk about really important community matters. It was actually a lot like a modern-day community center.
And their traditions went way beyond stories. They included incredible art, too. They created these really complex, colorful symbols inside painted caves. Because they believed so strongly that everything in nature was connected, they honored the earth, the animals, and their creator through this art. It was a permanent, very serious way for them to express their religious beliefs.
So, as we wrap up our explainer today, I'm going to leave you with a question. And I really want you to think about this. Which Native American tribe lived on the exact land where your school is built today? Remember, history isn't just stuff you read in a textbook. It is literally right under our feet. So I challenge you, keep exploring, ask questions, and find out all about the specific, unique tribe whose homeland you are standing on right now.